We live in a topsy-turvy world where some people are putting portals on trucks that would never have them, and others are putting no portals on trucks that would have them. Welcome to the Scale Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. Today we're taking a first look review and build of the new Axial SCX10 UMG10. Let me start by saying that Axial was kind enough to send me this kit to build and review and to take outside and potentially drive at some point. And if you've been following along, this is one of the first SCX10s with the Horizon branding on the box. And yes, that's a very nice looking box we have there, but what's inside is so much more important that it's not even worth talking about the box or doing an unboxing or any of those things. Let's just cut to a completely built kit. What you're looking at here is the Axial SCX10 in the shortest wheelbase variant they offer, 11.4 inches. This is a Unimog style truck with a cab forward style body and a tubed rear. It is a very nice looking truck. I've always been a big fan of the Unimog and its styling. I think it's very utilitarian and very off-road inspired. I think it's a great looking truck. Fun fact about Unimogs, they were designed in post-war Germany by Mercedes-Benz, and they were designed to be tractors and farm utility equipment. They weren't really designed to be off-road trucks, but they have proven themselves to be fantastically capable in that regard. So there's your history lesson for the day. A few words on building this kit. It is a very familiar build. If you've ever built an SCX10 before, you'll probably have no trouble putting this one together. There are a few gotchas along the way, and Axial did have to include a few addendums in the actual box to make sure that you were doing things right. There is one specific in the building regarding the transfer case, and I actually, at first, I wasn't sure that there was anything different, but on some further research, I did find that these two pieces, they do include new transfer case molds. These ones are definitely the ones to use. Do not use the ones that come in the actual parts bag. You want to use the addendum parts as the fitment is a little bit better, so definitely use those. In addition to that, there were a few other things to mention. The rear shock hoops in the actual instructions are put in the 12.3 inch wheelbase configuration. You're going to want to move those forward to the 11.4 inch wheelbase configuration, as this is a much shorter truck. Other than that, this was a very nice kit to put together. I'm very familiar with putting them together, so I didn't have much trouble. The plastic cage work is very nice, and I will say that some of the plastic compounds do feel as if they're different from the original SCX10 kit that we've all come to know and love. Some things that set this vehicle apart from the previous kit version: obviously a whole new body and cage. The tires and wheels are new. This is a new plastic beadlock. I love the caps that they've added, the military style hubcap that screws on top of the nut. Everything looks really great. The tires are in the R35 kit compound. The MT45 tire is 4.6 inches high, 1.4 inches wide, and on a 1.9 inch beadlock wheel. These beadlock wheels have a fantastic plastic compound. The screws are able to bite in very hard to this plastic and not show any signs of cracking or weakness. I think that this is going to be an excellent beadlock. Sure, it's plastic, but to be included in a kit as a beadlock wheel, I think this is really, really cool, and it looks fantastic. Foams are, of course, included, and they are better quality. For the purposes of using some of the stock I already had, I switched these over to Pitbull foams just because I had them and I wanted to give them a try. Instead of red diff covers, you get gray diff covers. All of the links are of the tapered anodized aluminum style that you've come to expect from the kit and the Raw Builders kit. Maybe, and I may be making this up and I'm not entirely sure, but because some of these plastic compounds have changed, I have noticed that these shocks haven't started to leak yet. I've been pressing the truck up and down a number of times to see if those shocks will magically start leaking, but I haven't seen any leaking yet, and that's fantastic. This is the first Axial SCX10 kit since the original SCX10 Cherokee kit was released in 2016. They both feature the kit-style transmission, which is much more my preference when it comes to building an SCX10 I just like that whole low center of gravity transmission and connected transfer case that is included in that setup. I think it's a much cleaner, much nicer, much more modern approach to the transmission that Axial can offer. The axles are the one-piece variety that we've seen in the Raw Builder's Kit and most of the RTR models that have come out lately. I don't have a significant issue with that. I've never really broken one. It'd be nice to have the multi-piece axle, but I'm not super broken up about it. Save, of course, for the fact that there are no portals on an SCX10-2. There are a lot of aftermarket options from SSD or Vanquish products to make this a much more realistic version of a Unimog, but it's not something that Axial currently offers. I'd love to see them do something like that in the future, only to be more accurate, not because I think portals are better. I'm opening a whole can of worms here, and I'm sure I'm going to start a huge flame war in the comments, but portals aren't the be-all end-all of tiny trucks, and most trucks in real life don't even have them. So, I mean, you can get a Hummer, you can get a Unimog, you can get a Volvo C303. Those all have portals in real life. Like I said, portals aren't the be-all end-all. You pick a good line, you can do just as well as a truck with portals as a truck without portals. Universals in the front for steering to give you that full 45-degree angle steering, as expected from any Axial kit. The Lexan body is very nicely molded. It does come in a number of pieces, and I would say that this is the most challenging body to put together that Axial has offered in a very long time. There are a lot of different pieces, a lot of different paint styles that you can do that you would have to mask yourself. But the sticker sheets that they include are very comprehensive and will give you lots of different options for detailing your truck and personalizing it to your own tastes. Some very nice scale details included, of course, a molded plastic grille. There is a radiator behind that as well. You get a snorkel, you get 2 functioning side mirrors. Door handles are also included, wipers too. It really does have everything. And there is also a very nice detailed interior Lexan piece that's included as well. You get a driver head and options for 3 different hats. A baseball hat, a cowboy hat, and the weirdest choice ever, a German military style helmet. I don't really get that choice. I don't really get that inclusion. Not really my style, and certainly not something I would want to show off in this truck, so I went with the baseball hat. The front bumper is plastic, but is a very nice, smooth front design, adds very nicely to the overall look of the truck, and aids in actual performance because it is so tight to the body. It does give you a much better approach angle than some of Axial's previous trucks. There's no rear bumper included, but that kind of ties into this whole cage and how all of those pieces kind of work together to kind of finish off the back of the truck. You do get a functioning spare tire. For paint, I decided to go with a military camo style, but yeah, just a bit more 60s retro. I used my Proline paint for Lexan bodies in my airbrush, and I mixed up these colors specifically to be custom to my build. I think it just makes it a little more my own. Instead of going with just a solid color, I thought I'd do something a bit goofy, and I really liked trimming out all these masks and making all these wild patterns. One other thing I should mention is that Axial's done a great job of hiding the body pins. You'll notice that there's no body pins on the top of the cab. They're actually hidden underneath, and the whole body hinges up from the rear to allow access to all of your electronics. I think it's a really cool system. I'm really glad to see Axial getting away from using body pins. It just cleans up the whole look and just adds another level of realism that might have been missing before. You'll also notice that I've swapped out the standard grille for this Night Customs UMG standard issue grille. This is not yet available, but will be coming very soon. James and I have been prototyping and testing. I'm really happy with the fitment. I think this looks way better. It uses the standard light size from the light bucket kit that you can get from Axial. I'll be sure to put a link in the description below to that part number so you can pick one up for yourself. As soon as this is available, I think that he's going to sell a ton of them because it looks awesome and it kind of completes its retro style 70s look. I 3D printed this one at home and it actually turned out pretty good, but I assure you the ones from Shapeways are going to be 10 times better than this. Because this is a kit, of course, you don't get any electronics. You will need to supply your own transmitter, your own receiver, your own ESC, motor, and servo to run this truck. I opted to go with the Tekin BXR, which is their smallest, lightest, most excellent little tiny ESC. Got all the functions that you would want from a brushed ESC. I paired that with a Holmes Hobbies 27-turn Trailmaster Sport motor that I had. I actually won that motor at the East Coast Scale Challenge last year, so that's a nice little bonus prize. I'm also running a Tekin T360 servo to power the front wheels. And you'll also notice that I included some inner fenders. These were originally built for the Toyota Trekker by Mod 19 on Shapeways, but they fit for now, and I think they actually look pretty good, so I'm going to keep them as well. And that's how I decided to set this one up. I think it'll be a nice runner. I'm really looking forward to getting it out there, and to be fair, I'm not going to really do much else to it. I'm just going to use it and run it and have a good time with it. From a Sorka scale point of view, there's actually a lot here that already is going to have you get pretty close to a point out. The tires, of course, will put you into Class 2. You can change those if you wanted to be in Class 1, and I think this would actually, in its stock form, be a pretty decent competitor. With that front bumper and its approach angle and its short wheelbase, I think this thing could run rings around some of the other trucks out on the market. I'm really pleased to see a new variant of the SCX-10-2 kit. I have always been a fan of building, and I would always prefer to build a kit over buying an RTR. Say you're scratch building a body, or you've got a body in mind and you want to modify and you want to have something that's going to be a little versatile, the Raw Builders kit is great. If you want a Unimog style truck, if you want the looks like this, if you want new beadlock wheels, if you want a new body, new interior, new cage, new hinge system, new body posts that are going to hide body clips, then this is the one for you. Honestly, I really feel because it's a shorter wheelbase truck, this is going to present a whole new series of challenges out on the trails, out on the rocks, whatever your terrain provides. It's going to be something different and new and something more challenging. I like the design. I'm so glad to see the SCX-10-2 kit style transmission in a kit again. It really is for me the best of so many worlds. Does it need to have portals? If you're being super scale accurate, then absolutely yes. Get the SSD conversion kit to make these axles into portals. Get the Vanquish portals, which is probably what I'm gonna do. As a base kit, you're getting an awful lot of good value here. It's a really nice looking kit. It has a lot of new features. Well, there is so much more to love here, and I'm really happy to see that Axial is taking the scale market seriously with this release. I definitely think it's going to be a success, and I would definitely recommend it. If you are a fan of Axial, if you've never had an Axial kit before and you want to try building one, definitely take a look at the UMG10. Yes, it's an SCX-10-2 at its base, but like someone smart once said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They've got a great platform here. Why not continue on with something that's working really well? Do not do what everyone else is doing. Zig when they zag. Zag when they zig. I don't know. So do you think that portals are really necessary, or do you think that most trucks could do without them? I'm curious to get your feedback, and of course, you know, I answer every single comment. And of course, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon.